This is Vihar. I'm one of the developer relations engineer at Appsmith. So today I have Joseph and Ron joining me. And guess what? Today I am here with my new Appsmith t-shirt. And of course, you can get one for you as well because it's the month of Hacktoberfest. And today, me, Ron, and Joseph will walk you through all things about Hacktoberfest at Appsmith. So, Ron and Joseph, why don't you quickly introduce?
Hey, I'm Joseph. I'm a developer advocate with Appsmith.
Hi, I'm Ron. I'm on the DevRel team and glad to be here. We've built some really fun stuff for Hacktoberfest just this year. We're kind of having a good time with it, so hope you enjoy it. We'll take a look.
Awesome. I think it's been a while, since we have so many people doing like a live stream at Appsmith, but I'm super excited for this one. And the community is all ready for, getting things around Oktoberfest, but let's see what all we have for them. All right. So, Ron, like, could we just directly head into Hacktoberfest app, or should we get started about, do you want to quickly share about Hacktoberfest?
Sure, absolutely. So, it's pretty interesting because everybody kind of does Hacktoberfest a little bit differently, right? Like some people go all in and they do all kinds of crazy stuff in these big advanced sites to do all of these things. Some people just tag a few issues on GitHub. Some people work very quietly. Some people work very big. So what we wanted to do this year was try and do some things a little bit differently. At Appsmith, we try and pave our own way, and we try and do things that other people haven't done before. So what we wanted to do this year was a couple of things. First off, we wanted to actually use our product, our platform, in order to kind of help organize this and interact with the people taking part. So we're gonna be taking a look at that app that we've created and that we're still working on in an agile fashion. The second thing we wanted to do was, while we love and appreciate and are incredibly grateful for all of the code contributions to our core platform, which is definitely still a big part of Hacktoberfest, we also really wanted to make sure that everyone, regardless of skill level, regardless of if they might feel a little intimidated by writing code or they might not have enough time to dig into our particular product, could still take part and contribute and give back and share and win prizes and all of those fun things. So we kind of divided into two tracks, more of a traditional code track and then a no-code, low-code track, which uses our platform. We'll talk about those things as we come up. And then the last thing we wanted to do was, like we said before, we wanted to do some experimenting. So this year, we're doing this a little differently. Instead of just having specific swag that is going to go out based on however many contributions get accepted, which is a great way to go and very common. Most people do something like that. We thought it would be fun if we kind of allowed people to pick the swag that they wanted. So as you'll see in the app, we've actually got a little store. And as you go through and contribute and either get your contributions accepted, or we are having prizes that we're going to be awarding, those prizes will be redeemed in the form of virtual coins. It's not like Bitcoin or something, some cool crypto thing, maybe next year, but really just, just a way to assign an arbitrary value to these awards that we give. And then you can redeem those coins to actually purchase the swag items that you want. And the cool thing about that is that, maybe you want an awesome t-shirt like Vihar's wearing, but maybe you've already got one. Maybe you'd prefer a sticker or a mug. Maybe you want a bandana for your dog. Yes, we have that in the store. There's lots of cool things that we've got there. So we want to have a little bit of fun with it. But I think that the big key overall is that we want to really invite people to contribute at whatever level they're at and whatever they feel comfortable with. And ultimately, just have a good time, man. That's what this is all about. Supporting open source, having fun, and working together to do cool things.
All right, thanks for that, Ron. I'm super excited about the no code low code track because building things on Appsmith is super fun, and I hope I get all things from the swag store that you have mentioned.
Now, I will say this: we do have this notated. If you want to go ahead and pull up the app, Bahar, that'd be great. As of right now, we have not. We've decided not to limit the number of rewards that you can get. So in theory, it is possible for someone to make multiple contributions and win multiple awards and thereby be able to get everything in the store. I don't know how likely that is, but I'm just going to go ahead and put myself out on a limb here and say, if there's anyone that is able to contribute enough and get enough cool stuff that they can get everything in the store, I will personally reward them with something even cooler, as yet to be determined. So hold me accountable, make sure it happens. I would love to see it.
All right, that's super cool, Ron. All right, so I hope you guys can see my screen. I have the super cool brand new Hacktoberfest app built on Appsmith. Joseph, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I got it.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Ron. So think of me as a first-time user and walk me through the app. So how do I get started?
Awesome. So on this first page we come in, we've got some basic information. We've got a note from the CEO. If you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a list of some of our contributors. And that list actually comes directly from GitHub. We're making an API call for people who've committed. One interesting note that you'll see is that they're in a random order. And actually, we're not only randomizing the order of those contributors, we're also caching the results. And sneak peek, we're going to be talking about how we built this app after this is over. So we'll tell you how we did that. So stay tuned, subscribe, follow, all those things, and we'll talk about how cool those things are. But we did this because we wanted to make sure that even people, as you can see here, who only have a few commits, they're going to show up. So every 12 hours, this cache will clear. Every time you come here and look, you'll see a different list of people. And hopefully you're checking regularly. Eventually you'll see everyone that contributes without having to scroll through them all. But this is the homepage, it's the intro. This is all nice and wonderful. You'll notice that there's those two blue boxes. The second one that says register here to get started. If you click on those arrows, it will take you to the profile page. Now, this is also the same as that navigation bar that you see at the top. So if you click on profile, you'll see there's, and it looks like, maybe try refreshing. It looks like you might have some cached data. We were testing this out earlier, of course. Okay, great. So when you come here, in order to register for Hacktoberfest, we do need you to have a GitHub account, obviously, to take part. So you can go ahead and look up your GitHub account, making an API call to retrieve the details. And you can say, is that you, Vihar?
Yes, that's me.
Okay.
And this is cool.
Okay, excellent. So now you can just confirm that and say yes. Then it takes you to the next screen where you can finish filling out some of your registration items. And again, we're going to do a breakdown about this later and tell you how we did this and show you how you can do similar things. So if you go ahead and completely register, this is going to be updating our data source so that we know who you are. You have you there. And this is it. So now you've successfully created your profile. Congratulations. If you click on update profile, you can make changes. So for example, at some point, if you want to add your Twitter handle or your Google, that's how we will be using information. You'll find out how in a minute. You'll want to do that at some point. But you can go ahead and close this. So this will help you keep updated. And you'll see we're also showing you right here the track of the coins that you have available. That's this virtual currency that you'll get as your primary reward. Underneath this, you'll see a list of your contributions. Right now, that's not tied together. You're going to see that probably early next week. So we've got some folks that are already working on that. It's one of the great things about the Appsmith platform is that you can create things and you can get them out very quickly. We have all of this backed up with the Git workflow that's super simple and easy to use. And then we can be really agile about rolling out the pieces of the app that we need to do when we need to do them. So you'll see that process as we're kind of like continuing to add more functionality to the app over time. Any thoughts, any questions? Joseph, you've been doing this forever, man. What do you think? Is this acceptable?
Yeah, it looks great, man. I'm excited. I participated in the Hacksmith, the hackathon last year as a community member before I was hired. So it's pretty cool to be involved in the hackathon from this side this year.
Other side of the curtain. Yeah, exactly. So this is a profile, pretty simple, pretty easy. Well, let's go ahead and go to the next section, the contribute section. And first, this overview page, we'll take a look. We won't go into detail. This outlines those 2 tracks we talked about, right?
Right.
And it gives you all the information about what the rewards are. You can see how you can get different coins for doing different things. One of the things, as we mentioned before, the regular code stuff, I don't want to diminish that, because that is such an important contribution to make for the project, for the entire community. Like, every little bit really does help. But we've actually also, we're starting to create a whole new repo called Foundry, which allows us to collect contributions, not just of code, but of templates. Joseph, you want to kind of tell us a little bit about that? I know you've been kind of spearheading that initiative.
Yeah, so the Foundry is a new repo that's going to be a public place that we can share the finished apps of, like, the JSON exports, from templates. It could be a sample app that shows you how to do, like, just one specific thing. Sometimes it'll just be a app from a live stream, like this, like our app that we're using right now, and Confidence also does some tutorials and things that'll have an app. So we wanted a central place to share all that stuff, and they don't fit into the templates website of the platform, So what we're going to set up is this separate repo it's starting as a place that will share these public apps besides templates and everything else, just a central place. But we want to also take community contributions for it as well. So the long-term goal is that we'll have a section of, here's templates from Appsmith, and here's templates that are from the community. And then there'll be, sample apps, or maybe even like shareable widgets and, groups of components when the platform is to a level where we can share individual, like, widgets. At this point, you can fork an entire template. You can take an app and copy it from our gallery into your app list, or you can take a single page. The new feature that we're working on is to fork a single page. And so we'll get to a point where we have community contributions at all the levels. It could be just an app or a component or anywhere in between.
Yeah, it's super exciting. And, like you said there, Joseph, I think, we've already kind of got this thing started. We're rolling out, and this is such a great opportunity for people in the community to start contributing early and really start to seed that repository. I know I would love to see hundreds, thousands of contributions from people, things that are, example apps that could be even, that could be big and huge and complicated, things that we do all the time. Like you said, those sample apps that we have, like currently, that we do in our documentation to kind of show examples of how to do things, and designs. I don't think many people know this, but internally, we actually have some of our own UI kits and design style guides that allow us to cut and paste different sections and different widgets and things put together so we can build things more quickly. I'm not a designer. And so I always really, really appreciate when someone who's got a good eye and a good sense of design can make it easier to build beautiful things. So again, if you'd like to contribute and you either don't know how, or are intimidated, maybe don't want to get into the nitty gritty of doing data binding and writing JavaScript objects to do cool things, that's totally fine. Make it look beautiful. Use the no code piece to do cool stuff. That is still an incredibly valuable contribution. Awesome.
All right. So I have a question here. So this is for Joseph. So basically, the core issues we can directly contribute on GitHub. But for the templates, we have set up an app called Foundry. But can you also, Joseph, can you also, shed some light around how people can, share their apps or connect their apps to GitHub and then, contribute there?
I'm sorry. Are you asking about how they can submit theirs for the hackathon?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So in the app right there, the contribute button, I think we have a link to the issue page.
So I'm talking about templates and the Foundry repository.
Right. So we have a issue template to submit one, and you could go straight to GitHub and fill that out. But I believe we have a link in the app that also connects to there. Ron?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go, so if you drop down real quick, let's just do the issues real quick, just because it's gonna be 2 seconds. And here is a list of all of the issues for our core repo that are tagged for Hacktoberfest, things that are high priority, things that are easy to get into, great places to contribute. And there's also a little button up there if you want to view it in GitHub, you can do that as well. So a nice little shortcut to get you over there. But the really fun stuff, and again, really don't want to diminish the efforts of anyone who's contributing to core, because that is super, super valuable. But if you want to hop back over and go look on that same drop down, as Joseph was mentioning, there is a templates page, and on this templates page, this kind of gives you kind of a quick little summation of how you can do this. And if you click the submit your template here, that actually will take you directly to the Foundry repo with the template submission issue ready to go. You fill this out, attach a link to your public app. It needs to be public so that we and other people can see it. A screenshot, which would be great. Some type of description about what it is and what makes it cool, what you're trying to accomplish. And then the best thing to do is to also attach a JSON export, if you can, of your app. If you need help with that, Discord is the place to do it. We'll talk about that in a minute. So super, super simple, super easy to do, and a great way to contribute.
All right. I think this answers my question. Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, no worries. So now let's talk about some fun stuff. Okay, so we've talked about registering, which is important. We've talked about like how you can contribute. There's lots of information you can dig into. But yeah, I know you're already there, buddy. Go ahead and pull it up. So here's our swag shop. And so here you can see some of the stuff that we've got. And you could go ahead and go through a few of the pages. Right now, we've got 15 items in the store. So stickers, notebooks, mugs, T-shirts, hoodies, hats. I told you we have a pet bandana. I was not kidding about that. I've actually got an eye on that for my dog. Even a Bluetooth speaker, wireless charging pad. And you'll notice there's different denominations. So different numbers of coins can do different things. We'll probably add a few more items here. We're actually working with one of our designers internally. He's got some really cool ideas on some awesome T-shirt designs that are very cool. I don't want to give any spoilers about it, but you'll probably see a couple of those designs pop out, and then there's a few other products that we might add in here as well. So come check it out from time to time and figure out which things you want. Who knows? If we've got the time, we might even go in and update the app to let you favorite certain things. It's on my long list that I'd love to get to. But yeah, what do you think? Is anybody going to get an Appsmith Bluetooth speaker? That'd be kind of cool, right?
Yes, of course. I mean, now I know where to exactly be on my weekend. So I'll look around, shop for a bit.
Yeah. Well, and yeah, I don't know. Would that be considered cheating for an Appsmith person to submit a template? I mean, if they win, is that?
All right, then in that case, I'm gonna create a new GitHub user, GitHub account.
Hack the system. You know what, man? I think everyone is invited to take part in Hacktoberfest. Honestly, there's no limits. So
definitely for the swag store, for the judges, for the competition at the end. Maybe we don't allow them in that area, but anybody that wants to contribute and earn some swag from the shop, I think that should be.
I totally agree. So now, if you click on the next button, this is interesting. This was kind of a last-minute addition that we put in here, and that was this idea of these mini quests. So each week, we're rolling out a different little mini quest, and as I mentioned before, it's things like registering. That's the first week, or subscribing to our YouTube channel, following us on Twitter, those types of things. This was a last minute. It was actually past last minute kind of inspiration. So we rolled this out a little bit late. We're actually going to be closing the week 1 mini quest today. So Vihar, if you want to go ahead and click on the button, I think you should be able to go ahead and get yourself 1 coin right now. Okay, we've got some kind of problem with the app. That's good. Now we can go through and fix it. So I'll do that right after this and get that deployed back out. But then for each one of these, we'll have, you can win a coin. So even if you just go through this process, you should actually still be able to get a couple of coins, get a sticker, maybe even a shirt. Although we prefer getting some contributions to our repos. But we wanted to make it possible for people to do some stuff and have some fun here. So an interesting idea, a little bit more experimental, again, kind of breaking the mold of what you typically see. But we wanted to, again, experiment and do some fun stuff here. So the week 1 quest will be ending. The week 2 quest will be starting up. And then we're actually going to overlap to get back on track with week 3. So you'll actually be able to do 2 for 1 next week. So good for you guys. You've got all the time you need. And then lastly, we've got here a list of resources. So the first item is just taking you back to the homepage for the app. If you want to go and check again on the contributor list and see if it's updated and see if you see someone you know or see yourself if you've contributed, it'll pop up on the list. But everything else on here is just a straight resource, a link out to our documentation, to our videos, to tutorials, to support, all of our supports on Discord. So if you're not already there, you should go ahead and get there. That's where you're going to be able to get the fastest response if you need something. But we tried to make this whole thing as self-contained as possible to give you everything you need to be successful, to contribute, and to win some cool prizes. So hopefully this has everything else in here. So.
All right, awesome. Thanks for the walkthrough, Ron. I think there's a lot, and the entire community will actually love both the app and also the themes around Appsmith Hacktoberfest.
Yes, excellent. And one last thing that is not listed on the app, although now that I think about it, maybe it should be. We also have a concept of different themes. So for example, we have one theme is startup apps. We have another theme which is on design. We've got another theme which is around, I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. They're on the initial blog post that's on our website. So I'll probably get those added as well. And what that means is that for each of those themes on the contest, you can actually, your app could actually win for multiple themes, and there's multiple categories underneath each one. So there's a total of 36 prizes, as we saw, and it's all written down. It's all in the app. You can see all the information there. But don't be intimidated. Whatever cool inspiration or idea you have, definitely contribute. And we have I believe we also have a Hacktoberfest channel on Discord.
Right.
So if you've got questions, if you've got suggestions on how we can make this better, again, we're doing this thing like we're building this in public, we're doing this live, it's very agile. If you've got ideas or suggestions how to make it easier, how to make it better, how to make your life easier, let us know. Give us that feedback, and we'd love to incorporate what we can. So fantastic.
Awesome. So you can also find our Discord link on the chat. Feel free to hop on and say hi, or in case if you have any questions related to Hacktoberfest, we are always there to help you out.
Yeah, fantastic. I think that's it. We talked about the program. We went through the app, talked about the Foundry initiative and all the cool stuff that's coming there. So yeah, is there anything else that anybody wants to bring up?
Right. I can actually take some help from Joseph because he's the mastermind, behind most of our templates. So Joseph, say if someone is, getting started with building apps on Appsmith, what data sources, could be easier for them to grok, the building stuff. So could you also, share a little bit about that?
Yeah, actually the easiest thing to do, if you're just looking to build you want to show a technique or whatever the core thing you're trying to display is, and you just need data, just use the mock data sources that are built into the platform. There's a mock user data set and a movies database. And so you could build something like a Netflix clone with the movies one or something. So if the type of data doesn't matter and you just need like a table to connect it to be able to build, I would definitely start with those. And then you don't have to worry about connecting some external data source and hosting and where you're what credentials you're using. So definitely go that route if it doesn't matter. If it's something that is like, say you've got a Shopify account and you're going to write an integration for that, that's using your API and your key. With those, you don't want to upload your keys and put that into the repo. And so like, how can you show it working, right? So for something like that, just shoot us a message on Discord. We can coordinate with you, show you how to share that safely, how we can demo it. And there's ways that, things that we do with our templates to where we can share it safely without exposing the keys. So just let us know if that's the case. But ideally, just use the mock data set. That's going to be a lot easier to get started.
All right, awesome.
Yeah,
but
I would also say that one of the things that you can also do is look for, especially if you're trying to manipulate data, you don't need to write data. Look for like public APIs. So one of the nice things here that made it really easy working with GitHub is a lot of their APIs are public and easy to use. So you don't have to do a whole lot there. And actually, when I created my very first app at Appsmith, my first week, I used a public data source. In this case, it was an API for Magic the Gathering, a card game to play. And I did that because it was fun, but I also did that because it was an open API, didn't need authentication, made it really fast and easy for me to get my hands dirty. So lots of great sources out there. And if you're looking for some ideas, as mentioned, or you need help, find us on Discord and we'll jump in.
All right, great. Thanks, Joseph. Thanks, Ron. I think that's it for our session today. In case if you have any questions, feel free to post them on the chat, and we'll be answering them, right away. Or else feel free to hop onto our Discord, and you can join the Hacktoberfest channel, and you can share all your queries there. Cool. So, anything else, guys, before we drop off?
I think we're good. Just looking forward to seeing all the great contributions and appreciate everyone contributing to open source, whether it's our project or others. We're all in this together. So appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Joseph. See you guys. Happy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.